Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third episode of the Fight Pit Podcast.
Number 3, let's
We are
go.
prepared. We are prepared for today. Look.
We came in with all the good info for you guys. We got whole lineup stacked up for you.
Look, there's been a lot of events that have been happening. We have today on the list with Backlash 2023, UFC 288. We have Monday Night Raw, Smackdown from the previous weeks. This is the first official full week where we are having both of the new drafted rosters being implemented. So you're not going to see anybody from Raw go on SmackDown unless it's the tag champs. Like Owens and Zayn and the women's. Actually, I don't know. Are the women tag team titles staying on SmackDown since Morgan and Raquel won? Or is that still going to be both brands?
I don't know. I think it might be both brands.
Maybe it hasn't been specified.
We might have to see on that, because I'm not 100% sure. They might be on Raw for now. They might be on SmackDown. They might be a both brand thing. I don't know. I know they teased the NXT champions, the women's tag team champions, facing Liv and Raquel.
Yeah.
Isla Dawn and Alba Fire facing Liv and Raquel.
Yeah, if you have not seen us talk over the drafts, watch episode 1 and episode 2. Trust me, they're good.
They'll get you all caught up, and it is some good stuff.
So the other things we're going to be going over are Rod Tang from One Championship. I think he's a Muay Thai fighter. I'm going to refer to him as a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah.
He might be kickboxing.
I think when I looked it up, the main thing I saw was Muay Thai.
And then we have the Drew McIntyre situation, which we're not going to go into specifics yet. The thing we're talking about right now. The thing we're talking about right now is this insane clash that J-Dog and Crazy Maniac are under right now, and it is our battle for supremacy in trophy hunting. We are currently. We also added UFC 4, so we are going over 2K22, 23, and UFC 4. Whoever can get all the trophies on PlayStation first.
Wins.
So, I'm going to start off. For 2K22, I have a 71%. What about you, J-Dog?
22, I have a 78%.
So he's a little bit higher than me.
From last week. I went up 1% from last week. I just got a trophy, like, right before we started this video. Or before we started the podcast. I still got the up on him, though.
In 23, he is up by a lot. I have a 40%. Now, what do you have?
Your boy got a 90%. I only got, I think, 6 trophies left. Maybe. It's like 6 or 7.
So he's a lot further than me. However, I'm still
UFC 4.
Well, we're not even talking UFC 4. I am still ready and willing to beat him just between the 2 wrestling games. However, UFC 4 does help me.
Though.
I have 1 trophy left. However, it is the hardest trophy in the game. I have a 90% on this. Jason, what do you have?
I have a sad 30%. I don't play UFC 4 as much, though.
Yeah, we added that. He has a lot on me with wrestling. However, I could still beat him just with that. With UFC 4, I have a much bigger advantage, so it could work out. It could work out in my favor.
UFC 4 could end up being the death of me in this battle. Because I don't play it as much.
Yeah. So, we're going over UFC 288. Obviously, Jason's winning right now. I'm going to end up winning. But with UFC 288... Maybe. There's no maybe about it.
Maybe.
Anyway.
We'll see. We're
not going over the prelims for 288. Neither one of us have really watched it, but we both know the results. We're both excited about what happened. But we're going to go over canceled fights. The first one was Movsar Evlor. I don't know. It's him versus Bryce Mitchell. That got canceled. Bryce Mitchell was going to get rescheduled for another match with Jonathan Pierce, but that got canceled as well. And the one that a lot of people would have been excited about is the lightweight division, former champion Charles Oliveira versus Beneil. I'm gonna say
Dariush.
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 Yeah, Dariush. uh,
I've heard of that guy. That's why I knew how to pronounce his last name. I'm pretty sure it's Dariush.
yeah, those three got canceled. It would have been exciting to see Charles Oliveira again. I don't know the specifics or details of what happened, but I do know they got canceled. So moving on with the featherweight, it was Charles Jourdain.
Jourdain. It looks like it's
Jourdain,
Jourdain.
basically, versus Kron Grace. I have no idea who either of these two are. I'm gonna have to watch this later on, and I will eventually learn stuff about these people I don't know. But Charles Jourdain won via decision round 3, featherweight division. They're going for Alexander Volkanovski if they can even match up with
I don't
him.
know if they're. I was about to say I don't even know if they're in that realm yet.
Yeah, Volk is on a different level. So the dude that actually got one of his fights canceled against Bryce Mitchell, Mavzar, it's like Evlov or something like that. I'm not sure. And he took on Diego Lopez, featherweight division. Uh, Mavzar got his fight canceled, and then when he got another fight, he won by decision. So that's pretty cool for him.
I didn't even realize that was the same guy. Well, good
Yeah.
for him, like you said.
And then moving on to the women's strawweight, this is a little depressing. Jessica Andrade, former very top star of the women's division. I know of her, and that's very hard to say because I don't follow the women really. She fought Jan Zionan or something.
Xiaonan.
Zhounan. Okay, wow, I definitely got that
I'm
wrong.
pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Is Xiaonan.
Jan won by KO or TKO in round 1. 2 minutes
That
and
is
20
kind of
seconds.
sad because I've seen
Yeah.
some Jessica Andrade fights, and she is a hard hitter. She's
Definitely
a hard
getting
hitter
out of her
and
prime.
a very technical fighter as well. So she's all around one of the better women fighters in the UFC. So to see her lose, not only lose, but lose in round 1 to somebody I've only heard, I think, a little bit about, is
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy.
Right. So, I will be honest. All of them, I either didn't know or haven't watched or followed. But these next two, which is the co and actual main event,
They are
we have
huge.
the first one being the co-main event is a welterweight clash between.
Below.
He hasn't been world champion, but he was a top star, and now it seems like he's getting out of his element. Gilbert Burns. He loses to Bilal Muhammad, one of the fastest rising stars at the moment. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast. I've seen him mainly on there, and I mean he's actually active in the scene. He wins
Yeah.
tonight against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns by decision.
I actually haven't heard much about Bilal. Well, I have. I've never seen any of his fights, but I've heard nothing but great things about him. So I hope for the best and that he hopefully gets a world title chance sometime soon. Because I think he deserves it.
I'm telling you what, man. I'm really wanting Hamzat to get another fight and actually make weight and do the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he didn't make weight because of like the doctors told him to stop, but still. It was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
So, I really want to see him. We've seen welterweight. I feel like a great thing to do is put two upcoming dudes together, being Bilal and Hamzat. That could be a good fight. I don't know if you'd want to derail either of their momentum, but if Bilal beat him, Bilal would definitely be
next in line. Most likely would be.
I mean,
next in line
Hamzat's
for
ranked
the title.
3. Hamzat is rated number 3. So, moving on to the main
find out
event.
where Bilal is rated. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure he's rated like probably top 7. I'm not sure, but main event: Aljamain Sterling defending against Henry Cejudo, which I was very surprised to read the headline that Aljamain actually won. By decision, mind you, but still, I haven't heard anybody really complain about it except for saying they wanted Henry to win. And Henry is very class, so Aljamain beating him, it just proves that, he's not like Mole or Weasel or whatever, just trying to take that DQ win to Piotr Jan.
Yeah.
He's really been proving himself in his past few fights, so that's awesome.
For real. Yeah.
But I'm excited for Sugar Sean versus Aljamain.
I think Sean O'Malley can pull out the win, in my opinion. I think he has all the skills in the world to do it.
I don't know yet because we haven't seen him fight many people other than Piotr Jan. And Piotr, he's been losing a lot recently, so
right.
Maybe that was on his downfall, and Aljamain has been doing very good work, and we haven't seen a lot of Sean O'Malley getting a real test other than Jan,
right.
So
Which was a good test for him, but like you said, we haven't really seen much of him, so it's not really much of a showing in a sense because he hasn't gotten that true test yet. Which I think if he faces Sterling, it will be a true test because they have very similar styles, in my opinion.
Sean O'Malley should probably face somebody else before he goes against.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. So
I actually looked up Bilal's rankings, and as of May 9th, he is 3rd. And that was after 288, I believe.
Then where is Hamza rated? It has to be number 2 or number 4.
Maybe spell his name.
It's Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh, there we go.
Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh my goodness. You are something else.
So, yeah,
as of May 9th, he is number 4.
Okay, so, yeah, Bilal's an upcomer.
Bilal is above.
Hamza is an upcomer. You need to have them fight, and then whoever wins will fight Leon. Obviously, Kamaru's not getting a chance anytime soon. I'm thinking Colby might be ranked number 2. I can't say that for a fact, but yeah, Colby might be ranked number 2. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I'm gonna look at the overall rankings. Go ahead and continue.
I'm picking it up right here. He is ranked. The soonest one I have is from April, so.
You're right.
Oh, he is number 2.
Kamaru Usman is number 1. Covington's number 2. Muhammad's number 3. Chimaev is number 4. Burns is number 5.
Wow, so Burns, that was probably Bilal's fight to get him above Hamzat.
Probably, yeah. That's probably his proving point.
Yeah, so that's it with UFC 288. I mean, that was a big main event. That was a huge main event. And a good co-main event as well. That was really a proving ground for Bilal. And Aljamain was, I mean, him and Sean afterwards, very exciting stuff. But we are going to talk about a different kind of exciting. Rod Tang. Rod Tang from One Championship. We're not going to talk long about him, but I just wanted to bring him up because he is, I mean, he's a thing of perfection. Not in MMA, but in Muay Thai, he has very few losses, very many wins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's very gifted.
If you have never seen him fight, if you've never seen any clips, just look him up. Just look him up on YouTube, whatever you want to do. Rod Tang. He fought Demetrius Johnson. And the first round was kickboxing or Muay Thai. The second round was full MMA. Rod Tang kicked Demetrius Johnson's ass in that first round. However, that second round, he got choked out. So, he's not good in MMA, but Muay Thai, he's very damn good. And he's one tough motherfucker. So, just look him up.
I can't really attest to it. This is mainly his thing.
Well, you've seen that. You've seen that clip of him getting kicked in the balls and him just shaking it off.
Yeah, that was
Usually dudes
crazy.
will
I was
lay on the
like,
ground.
dude just ate it. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody in any sport do that.
Yeah.
Dude just straight up ate it. But yeah,
So,
one tough guy for sure.
yeah, he is. For our wrestling fans, we are moving from MMA to the wrestling side of things. We are moving on to Backlash, and the first thing I need to say about WWE Backlash 2023, it being in Puerto Rico, they need to go back to Puerto Rico more because that crowd was insane.
One of the best crowds, not even just this year, of all time. I don't think in let me think how long it's been, like 2010, 2011. So in the last 12 years that I've watched wrestling, I don't think I've ever heard a crowd that interactive, that loud before.
Yeah. Other
Either
than
that or
maybe
it's just
All
been a
In,
while.
maybe other than All In or one of the AEW pay-per-views, but
That's the loudest it's been
wow.
in a WWE pay-per-view, though. In a long, long
I mean,
time.
if we're talking about Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, don't even count those. We're talking the smaller pay-per-views, ones
We're
that
not even
isn't for
counting
like
like,
35 years.
and we're not even counting like pops. We're talking about like all the way through the pay-per-view. They
Yeah.
were on their heels the whole pay-per-view.
Let us tell you
Literally,
why.
we'll explain in one of the matches how crazy it got. Like I
It got
said, we'll
very
do
crazy at
that
the
later
beginning.
on.
Bianca
It
versus
was crazy.
Io.
Yeah, it
This was
was
the
crazy
first
at the
match
beginning.
for the, I guess,
Raw Women's
SmackDown.
Champion.
Well, it would be the SmackDown Women's
She,
Champion now, I guess.
as you'll see, she's keeping the title.
Yeah, there was. I mean, they could have had Io win, but I would have doubted that, just because Bianca's such a big star.
That's not what I'm saying. We'll see later on when we review Raw, or was it? No, it was SmackDown. Sorry, it was. You'll see for SmackDown that it's very likely that they're just going to keep the Raw title on there. I'm guessing they'll change it later.
Oh,
Like
I
they'll
don't know,
update the
man.
title.
I
In
feel
my
like they
opinion,
won't.
we'll get to it on SmackDown. I'll explain it.
Well, we had Bianca versus Io. Io was just wow. That crowd was crazy for her. I mean, obviously you know Bianca's gonna win. Like deep down you know
Right.
Bianca's gonna win. But Io Sky, you know, she's worked in Japan, she's worked in those other countries, and apparently Puerto Rico really loves her. I mean, really, and
Yeah.
obviously she's one of my favorite women's wrestlers, especially from
And
NXT.
apparently, which honestly I wasn't expecting any less, they pushed her pretty well in that match. Like they made her look good. They made her look really good, which I give WWE props for that. For somebody like Io finally giving her the spotlight, which later I think it was on Raw. It was the same thing. You could tell that they're getting ready to prepare her to put her in a spotlight. So
Not on Raw.
I think they did. Was it on, or was
It
it
would have
on
been
SmackDown?
on SmackDown. She's on SmackDown,
Okay,
man.
SmackDown.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm
You
getting
don't
them
even
confused.
you don't even remember the draft picks? We went over 2 episodes.
I do remember the draft picks. But Bianca was on SmackDown, and so was did Asuka get drafted to SmackDown as well?
Damage Control, Bianca Belair, and Asuka are like the main ones.
Oh, never mind then.
So
I completely forgot. I don't have my stuff from when the draft happened.
so we have that match. Bianca wins. The main parts were basically Damage Control coming in, trying to
Trying to
attack
interfere.
Bianca, and
Yeah.
Io Sky had some amazing spots, but it wasn't amazing enough for Bianca to lose her title. Bianca
She
wins.
continues
Lowell.
to reign.
Bianca wins.
I think she's about to break the record too. I don't know when it is, but I know she's about to break the record
Yeah,
for the
there's
longest reigning
there's some
women's champion.
crazy history-making world championship reigns. Not even world championship reigns,
I
championship reigns
think
in general. With Gunther.
every single champion except for Theory is about to break a record, like the Raw and SmackDown.
Not the tag champs.
Brawl. Oh yeah, not
Or
tag
the
champs,
U.S.
sorry.
champ.
That's what I said. I
Yeah,
said
you
Theory.
said Theory.
Theory,
Yeah,
SmackDown, and
or the women's tag
tag
champs.
champs.
Yeah.
Because Gunther, here in a little bit, is about to break Honky Tonk's record. I don't know how many days he has until that.
Well, Roman's not
Roman
going to
Reigns is
break
all.
anybody's record, but he is.
He's gonna pass.
Pedro Morales.
Who is it? Pedro Morales' record of
Yeah.
1,000 days. So WWE, I know is. I think I saw something. They're trying to get more lengthy reigns, which I think is good for them. I think that's smart. Because then you're bringing that prestige back to the title and not just tossing the title around. I think that's the right way to go, is to have more lengthy reigns throughout.
So, moving on from the women's championship match, this is Omos versus Seth Rollins. And I really like this match. It made Omos look strong.
Yeah. I was just about to say, I think they did a really good job of putting Omos in a spot to where you can make both of them look good. And you don't just have Seth completely. Which, I mean, you can't really have Seth completely overpower Omos. In the sense, not actually, like, physically overpower, but, like, as in, like, athletic ability and star power and all that. Not have him be overpowered. It was a really good match, though. I was surprised that they put on that good of a match. But
Well,
then
Omos
again,
did the
Seth
Bobby
Rollins.
Lashley spot where Seth Rollins went to do the curb stomp and Omos just stayed up. I mean, he looked
Yeah,
strong
I thought that
overall,
was
and
cool.
it was longer than like the Brock Lesnar match or the Bobby Lashley
Right,
match. It was
right.
like 10 minutes, maybe even a little bit
Yeah,
longer.
probably.
Uh,
I think it might have been a little longer than 10,
I don't
but
remember if there
still.
were any segments in between the matches at Backlash, so we're not going to cover any of
I
them unless you
don't
remember.
believe so. I don't believe so.
Yeah, so we're moving on to the U.S. Championship match, and I was pretty excited for this one, and it delivered. It was pretty good. They had some nice spots in there. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, at the end, Lashley speared Bronson Reed, and Theory threw Lashley out of the ring and just got the 1, 2, 3. Lashley came in. He was just about to break it up. He looked so pissed, and it was so funny. But I'd also like to mention, well, for SmackDown, that's later. Sorry about that. But Theory, he did that, threw him out of the ring. On SmackDown, Lashley threw him out of the ring during their match, their other triple threat match. I thought that was a pretty cool spot how they went back to that.
Yeah, I think that's smart, like, because you're gonna get fans to be like, oh, oh. It's like the whole thing with Matthew McConaughey. Oh.
So,
Uh, yeah, I think that was really funny how they did callback. They've been doing that a lot lately, though, doing callbacks to past matches. You'll see on SmackDown too. They do that as well.
yeah. So, Bronson
Or
had a pretty
wait,
good
no,
showing.
Raw. Sorry.
Bronson had a pretty good showing. Lashley obviously always has a good showing. And Theory just building up that heat even more.
Yeah, I was about to say it's just Theory being Theory, building
Lashley,
up that heat.
Lashley, I knew Bronson wasn't going to win because he was going to Raw, the U.S. champions on SmackDown. Theory versus Lashley. I wasn't sure who was going to win because Lashley could have won and it would have been great, and Theory
Yeah.
could have won, and I mean, we're just in the same boat. I think Lashley being freed up for the World Championship, not only the tournament, but also a potential rivalry for Roman Reigns is very
Yeah.
amazing, very awesome.
Yeah, I think that's smart for him. I think they'll give him. I mean, he's already been getting a lot of exposure, but it'll give him a lot of good exposure. Like, this will be his first time confronting Roman face to face. I think a Roman Bobby feud will be really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, after that, we had Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega, which would be for technically the SmackDown Women's Champion, but Ripley's on Raw now. So,
Yeah.
you kind of knew
But
Zelina wasn't going to win because she's on SmackDown, Ripley's on Raw.
but the pop though that Zelina got was absolutely nuts. Even though everybody knew that she wasn't gonna win. The
Yeah.
absolute crowd reaction she got was crazy.
I mean, her parents were in the front
Before,
row.
during, after, it was absolutely nuts.
Her parents were in the front row. She came out with the Puerto Rican flag. She was crying, very emotional. And after the match, she got a standing ovation. There wasn't really a lot with the actual match.
I know one of the big spots.
Except for Zelina having that crazy pop, there wasn't a lot, and
Yeah.
Rhea obviously winning.
Yeah, I think there was the biggest spot was the whole thing that Zelina did when she first confronted Rhea, countering the Riptide into the DDT. They had that kind of spot. I would say that was probably the biggest spot.
That was a callback.
Yeah, they did
as well.
a callback. Backlash was full of callbacks, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's storytelling. It's basic storytelling.
Right,
Triple H
right.
is very good at
Which,
that.
I mean, Triple H has been doing a really good job of that, especially recently.
Yeah. So we have Ripley winning that, defending the title. Pretty obvious, but Zelina had a crazy reaction. That was amazing. Now, this is match of the night, in my opinion. This next coming match, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. It had so much build-up. The pre-match promo package was pretty good.
Yeah. But the pop when Bad Bunny came out with his music, you literally couldn't even hear his entrance music because the crowd was singing along to it so loudly. You literally couldn't even hear the entrance.
He's just a superstar. It's not even the fact that he's a good wrestler. He's just a superstar with the music, with everything, and the fact that he's so good.
Right.
I mean, I feel like he's definitely better than Logan Paul because he's done this. He's wanted to do this. This is his actual dream.
Yeah.
Like it would be a kid's dream. This is his dream as well.
Yeah. And there was a lot of good spots in this match. Like they truly showed how much, like you said, how much of a star Bad Bunny was in this match.
Before we before we say too much about Bad Bunny, I want to put the attention on Priest because he's a star. You just know he is. The fact that he does have that entire crowd against him. I mean, and it's not... Realistically, this is like the John Cena, Rob Van Dam levels. Maybe not as much, but not your usual kind of heat that you would get. This is crazy because it's Bad Bunny plus in Puerto Rico. And he's just such a heel. He doesn't even try to have any qualities about himself that would be redeeming. He even said in the pre-match promo package, "I'm a bad guy." He just straight up said he's a bad guy.
He's honestly a Razor Ramon 2.0.
I mean, that's a good comparison. But also, that's how the entire Judgment Day is. They're just no redeemable qualities, which was pretty cool. So, the bigger spots that you have in this match, first of all, Priest just throwing Bunny around, but Bunny not backing down, him just getting in his face. You also had Bunny with these crazy maneuvers. I mean, Hurricane Rana. I mean, stuff that this guy wouldn't... It's crazy
Wouldn't
he can
normally do. Yeah.
But it's also Bad Bunny with that Canadian Destroyer. I know Priest does a lot of work with that, but that's a very advanced move, especially for someone that doesn't do this all the time. So, it's amazing. And Priest's character work was just awesome as well. So you go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I thought it was funny. He brought down, I think it was towards the middle of the match, he brought down a cart full of weapons.
That was at the very beginning.
I thought it was funny. That was at the beginning. Okay. Still, I thought that was really funny that he did that. I mean, it made sense because it was a San Juan street fight.
He threw that towel and the crowd erupted.
Yeah. Because they knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, the big thing in this that was awesome was you have Balor and Dominic Mysterio. You have them come out.
I almost forgot about this part.
Yeah, you have them come out, and you have Rey Mysterio come out. He gets a huge pop. I mean, just that, like Puerto Rican, Mexican kind of thing. They're both Spanish, everything like that. It's very awesome. I mean, realistically.
Yeah, I get it.
And just a Latino, like Latino World Order gang kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
you have Rey Mysterio come out, he gets a huge pop, gets beat up. Then you have freaking Caribbean Cool Carlito, and he comes running out. He's beating
I
everybody up.
spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Spits in the
Bro,
face of Dominic Mysterio, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. I straight popped when that happened. I was like, bro, I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, I want Carlito to get a contract. I thought he was going to get one after Royal Rumble 2021 and after
But
the
that's
Jeff
not
Hardy
even
tag team match a couple of weeks
that's
later.
not even the biggest surprise though. It's not even close. I mean, it was pretty big, but like the other guy that comes out,
You got Carlito and Rey Mysterio run Judgment Day out of the ring, and then you have Savio Vega make his,
oh my goodness.
I guess, return. But he made his return early in the night talking to Bad Bunny and Rey Mysterio. But yeah,
I didn't
Savio
even see
Vega.
that, so
Yeah, Savio Vega.
he actually got
came
some
down with a
action
kendo
in.
stick. He got that crazy. I've never watched the Savio Vega match because that was before my time of watching wrestling. So I don't know a lot about him, but that kick that he did. I mean, I know it's his finisher. That was pretty cool, especially for him to be in his older ages. The fact he
Right.
can still do that, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
I
it was just
totally agree.
it's such a fun moment. If there's one match you watch out of this entire card, watch that.
Absolutely. This is probably it should have been the main event, unfortunately, with
I don't
what
think
the
it
main
should have been
event
the main
was.
event, but at least co-main event. I was not excited for the next match at all.
No, neither was I.
You had Usos versus. Oh, you had Bad Bunny win that match, by the way. But you had Usos and Solo Sikoa versus Riddle and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
It
Now,
wasn't that good of a match, in my opinion.
it just
It was
followed.
okay.
It followed Bunny versus Priest. It was a good match, but I mean, the crowd is so hyped, and then they were still good hype for this match, but I don't think I was. I wasn't really excited
It
about
was
it.
very predictable. Very,
Uh,
very predictable.
But I
mean,
thought
I
Solo was
didn't.
going to turn. I mean, they
I thought
definitely
so
teased it.
too.
Yeah, they definitely teased it. He went to hit the Samoan spike on Jey Uso.
I wish you would have. That would have been funny.
But I mean,
I
yeah,
would've laughed.
I don't really remember a lot from this match. I wasn't excited about it.
No.
Basically, Riddle hit the Broton and got the win against either Jimmy or Jay. I don't think it was Solo. It may have been. I'm not sure.
For what? Like the
Who
SmackDown
took the
before?
pinfall? No, who took the pinfall?
Oh, no,
With
it
Riddle.
wasn't. It wasn't the Riddle and Sammy and Kevin didn't win.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. Bloodline won.
No, they didn't, man.
No, listen. Riddle went for the Broton. He landed it. Solo got a sneaky tag in, and he went in, grabbed Riddle, the Samoan spike, pinned him 1, 2, 3. I don't know what you watched.
There's
That's
no
what
way. I'm looking
happened.
this up.
Look it up. They won.
Man, that's stupid. What happened? I have no.
I'm dead
See, I did
serious.
not care about this match at all. Okay, whatever. Usos and Solo win. That's awesome. They had a good showing. They're still
I
Roman
wish
Reigns
they would have
bitches.
turned.
Anyway.
You're not
You
wrong
got the
about
main
that.
event. You got the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. This was the second best match other than Bunny and Priest. I loved this
Yeah.
match. I love that Rhodes won, and I love the element of blood. That's probably something that's
Yeah.
come back since Triple H came back, or not came back, but since he's been
But
put in charge.
came in as creative control.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes just, he had a great showing. Brock Lesnar, the blood element was amazing. I really
Yeah.
loved this match. Cody Rhodes won, which
Honestly,
he won
though,
very surprisingly, kind of a roll-up fashion.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anybody counter Kimura like that. It was cool, like, because you usually don't see that kind of roll up. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bring this up. It's not important. You could definitely tell that that wasn't like an accident. I know I saw a lot of stuff like the turnbuckle, like he accidentally hit the wrong spot of his head and he started to bleed. No, he bladed himself. You can see it because he brings his hand down his face when he's like going to see where the blood's at. You see his hand come down across his face with a clenched fist. I
Well,
was like, oh yeah, he definitely bladed.
I have no idea.
It looked like he bladed, I guess is a better way to describe it. Well, I don't know.
So, yeah, that was the end of Backlash. It was probably one of my favorite cards in a very long time.
Yeah, it was definitely
Because
which
that crowd made that show.
yeah, which I understand why it would be such a big card, because before even going into Backlash, it was meant to be a promotional pay-per-view for Puerto Rico, because they're planning on going back, because it's one of their biggest fan groups right now, like fan areas, is Puerto Rico. Fan bases. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for.
I heard that the wrestlers that wrestled there really wants to go back to Puerto Rico because they had such a fun time.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised by that.
So moving on to Monday Night Raw after Backlash. This is the start of the World Championship tournament, which I was surprised at first for it to just be 4 triple threat matches, followed up by 2 singles matches, and then you have the final, which will be at Night of Champions. Sorry. That'll be a Night of Champions for the new World Championship. What?
I'm just gonna let you know, this is all you. I did not watch any of Raw. On like describing the matches, I did not watch Raw.
Okay, so we can get through this quick. Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
The first thing you have is Cody Rhodes come out, do a huge promo, which was, it was a good promo, just talking about Brock Lesnar's in the past. I'm going to get this world championship. No, he's not. So, the first match becomes Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest. This is awesome because first you have Seth Rollins, big star. Nakamura, this is not 2018 through like 2022 Nakamura. This is the new revamped Nakamura from like 2016 and New Japan Pro Wrestling. NXT days. This is the good Nakamura. Like, he had that very long break, just, I guess, creative, didn't have anything for him or whatever. He fought in...
Or they were just...
He fought in the Great Muta's...
retirement match.
Well, retirement tour, I guess. So, yeah, now he's back. He's been drafted. He had that little feud with Karrion Kross, which was kind of stupid. They had so much build-up for it, and then they just separate them. That was dumb. But anyway,
I didn't
Nakamura...
understand that.
And in this match, he had a good spot with Seth Rollins, and you wouldn't usually see this in recent Nakamura matches. This is something like NXT. Seth Rollins, it's like, come on, Nakamura, and Nakamura looked at him, did that weird stance, and he was like, come on! Very amazing.
Good old
I loved
Nakamura.
it. And Damian Priest in this match. After the night he had at Backlash, amazing. Damian Priest... He took control of this match at the start. Some people gained control, but I really feel like the backbone of this match was Damian Priest.
Yeah,
I mean, he's really grown in.
Surprised.
And Corey Graves mentioned it on commentary that was not just a match at Backlash or tonight. This is a Damian Priest that is locked in. So yeah, Damian Priest, I love to see him getting that big push. I've wanted him to get the big World Championship push. And
I want to see if Seth ends up winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I'd love to see a Seth versus Damian Priest feud.
You know what would have been awesome? Is Damian Priest winning. And I'm not saying that they should have done this. I'm just real quick hypothetical. Damian Priest wins his match, Finn Balor wins his match, and then you have a little match between them. Then you can set up for a SummerSlam match between them, like, down the road. I would love to see that. I kind of want to see Damian Priest split off.
Are you wanting to do, like, a well-respected match, or are you having one of them turn?
I feel like at first it would have to be a respect match, and then that just builds up tension, and then eventually Balor either kicks him out, or Damian... I would rather have Damian Priest attack him, then you can have that huge feud. And then maybe whoever wins gets to be leader of Judgment Day. I could see that with Damian Priest.
Because I feel like they can go either way there. Like, if you do a respect match, it'll work out perfectly. They'll
Right.
just have to go a different way than what you said with eventually turning. Which, I mean, they could, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that would be a
So,
good idea.
you got Seth Rollins winning this match. Pretty good pick. I would have.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the biggest star on Monday Night Raw, other than like Cody Rhodes, which I can kind of see
Yeah.
Seth and Cody. At the same time, or something I do want to mention, Cody had his promo. That's when Seth Rollins came out for the match, and then Cody and Seth had a little stare down. And then Seth Rollins smirked at him, looked away, and did his usual thing. Obviously, the history plus a possible fourth match in the future. If they have another
Yeah.
match, it would have to be Seth winning since Cody's already beaten him 3 times. Okay, Ali versus Otis. This is an undercard match. I watched it on Hulu. It's only an hour and a half. They cut out an hour. This was a part of the hour that they cut out. They cut out the worst stuff. So I'm just going to say it's an undercard match. We won't cover it other than the fact that Chad Gable should have been put on this card by himself, other than Otis. And Mustafa Ali getting a win against Otis Dozovich is pretty cool. The next match you have is Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Cody Rhodes. This was the World Championship tournament. Whoever wins gets to fight Seth Rollins later in the night. You had Miz versus Cody versus The Miz. Obviously, if The Miz fucking won, I would have been like, what the hell are they doing?
There's
So
no point watching this tournament anymore.
I could see Balor winning, obviously, because he's one of my favorites. And Cody, I thought he was going to win. This entire match, it was his match.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, his momentum going into the match, plus he was the ruler of that ring until
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, and he hit both men with crossroads. He had the Miz pinned. Lesnar pulled him out. You know, F5, whatever, beats him up for a while. You have Balor, who covers the Miz, and Balor wins. Kind of a, bad way to win, but then you just see Brock
But it
Lesnar
works.
beat Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
F5 through the table, and then a great promo by Lesnar. He was on that mic for probably 2 minutes just saying, "Give me the match at Night of Champions. I hate you," all this different stuff. He had
One
like
of the
Cody
parts I
in his
remember, he's
hands.
screaming.
Yeah,
He's
he's
screaming
screaming.
at the camera. He's like, "Look what you did to me! Look what you did!"
And also at the same time, there's like marks everywhere. It looks like he got stitches from that
Yeah.
match that they had at Backlash. So, amazing stuff. I liked this. You can tell that Brock Lesnar enjoys this, which is amazing. Whenever
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar enjoys something, it's great. Like if you had the
Yeah.
match with him and AJ, him and Balor, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So, moving on from that, you then had Rhea Ripley versus Dana Brooke. This was something I watched. 5 or 10 minute thing. Dana Brooke had a little promo. It sucked. She doesn't have a character.
As it always
You
does.
need to revamp her.
Either
I mean-
revamp her or release her. Honestly.
I don't want to see her get released because I know she has passion for this and she wants to succeed. And I think she should go down to the NXT. That's honestly what I think. Maybe do a trade or something. And then Rhea Ripley beat her. Easy squash match. Dana Brooke did get a little bit of offense in. Went for a crossbody, got caught. Ripley got her. Whatever. Done. Who cares? There was a promo earlier in the night where you had Imperium, who were kind of promoting Gunther. Like, they weren't promoting themselves. Them and Sammy and Kevin had an interaction backstage. And I love this because this is one of the first matches I wanted to see. They didn't put this in a pay-per-view, like, with the championships on the line, but you did have Imperium versus Kevin and Sammy. Great promo at the beginning, and a great match. If there's one match you should watch, it's probably that one. It was a great match. Then undercard match, Zoe Stark versus Nikki Cross. Zoe Stark gets the win. Pretty respectable. Becky and Trish Stratus had a good segment. What I liked about this was that Trish Stratus, she wasn't like one of these current women in the WWE. She was like that old 2006 kind of heel version.
Yeah.
Dude, she's such a great heel. Did you see any of it? Like any of the
I
stuff between
saw
them?
bits and pieces, but I didn't see I don't think I saw enough to be able to understand exactly what was going on.
Yeah, Trish was basically saying that Becky's missing. Where is she? Whatever. And then Becky's music started playing, and then she started laughing, saying, "She's not actually here. She's not actually here." Then her music hit again, and then she was like, "Wait, guys, the joke's over." She literally said that. And then Becky
That's
got from
funny.
behind her, beat her up. Trish left. It was a great segment. I'm actually excited for this rivalry.
Yeah, me too. SummerSlam finish, and they hug it out, and then that's Trish's retirement match. Honestly, I hope so. I hope that's Trish's
Remember
retirement
when
match. That'd be a
Trish
great way. That'd be a great way to go out.
Remember when Trish fought Charlotte and we thought that was going to be her retirement match?
She says, I lied, I still got some in the tank.
So after that, which I really like that. You have an undercard match again, Dominic Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. I had no idea this happened. Dominic Mysterio is really kind of doing poorly since his dad angle, and Xavier Woods, him
My boy
losing to
got daddy
Dominic,
issues.
him losing to Dominic sucks. Just in general, I hate that. Xavier Woods should be in like the World Championship tournament, in my opinion. He's very,
Yeah.
very good. And then you have Seth Rollins taking on Finn Balor. This is the semifinals in the World Championship tournament. The winner of this Monday Night Raw main event faces the winner of the SmackDown main event. Also, something I want to mention,
Night
why are they
champions.
having a SmackDown tournament bracket in the first place? This is a Raw title. They said it was going to be on this.
Listen. It's stupid, but what I've heard is if somebody from SmackDown wins, then they're literally just gonna move that person from SmackDown to Raw.
And what happens to what happens to Seth Rollins if he loses? Does he go to SmackDown?
No, I would assume he'd stay on Raw. I don't know. This is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true.
Right. But
I
yeah,
don't know. We'll see, I guess.
it doesn't make
You know
sense to
Seth's
me.
gonna win though.
It doesn't make sense to me, but that match between Seth versus AJ is going to be insane. I know they had a match in right after Seth Rollins won the Universal Championship. It was the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. After WrestleMania
Yeah.
35. If I'm not mistaken. I do remember that match happening, and I do remember it was pretty good. So that's it with Raw. It was a pretty good Raw. I liked it, except for the
Yeah.
undercard stuff that I'm just now really hearing about. Um, SmackDown, in my opinion, didn't do as well. It kind of fell off. You had the first match being AJ Styles versus Edge versus Rey Mysterio. Obviously, it was an amazing match. Would you agree?
Which one was it?
AJ
I was trying to
versus
see.
Edge versus Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
The beginning
It
of
was
SmackDown.
it was a very close, very tight knit match. AJ and Seth have had many matches, like on Raw.
Right.
It looks
This
like
is
it's just
the
mainly on Raw.
this is the main event of a pay-per-view. It's going to be a lot different.
Yeah, true.
Well, actually, no, it might not be the main event because Roman and Solo versus tag champs. They
No,
might make that
I
the final.
I could see it being the main event.
Oh, I'd like the World Championship to be the main event. That's how it should be, but I feel like they would probably put Roman and Solo since Roman's the double world champion. I could see either way, and honestly, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter, but I would love to see AJ versus Seth be the main event. It's just making it a match that's good, amazing.
Yeah. I guess we'll
So,
see.
right after that, you had Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory versus Sheamus for the World Championship tournament. Oh, yeah. AJ won, and it was a good match. I do remember some spots, like Mysterio doing a double Hurricane Rana, and Edge overselling it like crazy. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm pretty sure AJ hit... No, that was for Lashley. I don't remember how he won, but I do remember he won.
He won. Give me a second. How did he win? He won by
Well, until you find that, Bobby Lashley versus
I
Theory
forget.
versus Sheamus. You had two big dudes in Sheamus and Lashley versus the United States champion. And Theory, had a good showing, whatever. Getting more heat, being a
Yeah.
coward. Sheamus obviously trying to kill everybody, and Lashley just being the dominator. Theory got Sheamus down to where he could pin him. I don't remember all the details of this match, but Lashley threw Theory out of the ring and pinned Sheamus and got the win. The callback to Backlash, like I mentioned earlier, pretty awesome. And now we're going to get Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles in the main event. That is a great match, and I love that they're doing that because that's two of the biggest stars that SmackDown got in the draft. So putting them together is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So AJ won by a phenomenal forearm.
To Edge
I
and
think
Mysterio.
Edge. Edge. I don't remember what happened specifically, but
So, quick
yeah.
fantasy booking thing. I think Edge versus Mysterio should have a tag team run.
Yeah.
They could beat. You could have Roman and Solo beat Sammy and Kevin, and then Roman and Solo lose to Edge and Mysterio. That'd be pretty funny. I'd like that.
Yeah, I doubt that Roman and
I
Solo
doubt
are
that
actually
would
going to
happen.
win at Night of Champions anyway.
Right. I doubt it would
I-
happen,
I
but it's a
doubt
good
it.
idea. I think.
Because I feel like this is all building up for Solo to turn against the Bloodline.
For the
That's
next
what
match.
it seems like to me.
Right. For the next match, I was not excited for. It was Cameron Grimes versus Baron Corbin. Cameron Grimes' debut on SmackDown, and Baron Corbin
Got buried.
talked trash to him for a little bit, and Cameron Grimes hit that.
Literally, as soon as the bell rang, Cameron Grimes hit a cave-in. 1, 2, 3.
He hit that mushroom stomp. That's what we're gonna call it.
Called a
That
cave-in.
mushroom. No, it's called mushroom stomp.
him to the moon.
To the moon. Yeah, I'm surprised he's still doing that, but yeah, he did get some. He got some good exposure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Johnny Gargano's on SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
Not sure. However,
Sorry about
moving
that.
on to the next match, you have Damage Control, as in Bailey and Dakota Kai, taking on Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. I did not care about this match at all.
It wasn't that good. It was stupid.
I mean, it was a good match. It's just there's no build up to this. It sucks, man.
Yeah. I think it was just a way to keep teasing EO turning.
Like this should
Possibly.
be a match. This should be a match on Night of Champions in a good rivalry. This is just
Right.
maybe they're focusing too much on the World Championship tournament rather than really promoting the other championships or other things. Where is Gunther? I know he's going to make his return. I feel like he should have been on the Backlash card.
Yeah, but I think they were trying to stick with their star power with Zelina Vega, Bad Bunny, Damian Priest,
That is
and trying to
true.
keep them.
I mean, they
Like,
really
you
got
don't
a lot
wanna-
of Latino.
I think they
people.
wanted to have it high powered but not overpowered. I feel
mean-
like if you were to bring Gunther, it would have been too much because you wouldn't have known where to put him. In my opinion.
I think they wouldn't have put Io Sky in a match, Priest in a match, or Zelina in a match if it wasn't in Puerto Rico.
Right.
Maybe Io's a different story, but I mean they really pushed the underutilized talent, and I'm not saying that they don't deserve to be on this card, but I'm just saying,
Right.
In the old Vince style and even before or even after Vince with Triple H, it's been like that. So maybe it's a good change. Maybe they will start using Zelina and Priest more, along with Io, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I hope they use EO. I don't know about
But
Zelina.
I did also see the tension between Bailey and Io
Yeah.
in their promos. Before I go on to the main event, I'd like to mention there was a pretty deadly promo with the Brawling Brutes. That was pretty funny. Sheamus asked the Pretty Deadly. He said, "So who's pretty and who's deadly?" And then they both looked at him and just said, "Anyway," and they started saying their shit. I don't know. It was pretty funny. And then you had Grayson Waller promo. I know he's doing a big talk show next week. I can't remember what he's going to talk about.
It's a talk show. He's going to talk to whoever. Oh, he's going to talk to AJ. Because it was going to be the winner of whoever won out, AJ and Bobby.
That's a good thing because Grayson and AJ have some history. They could start a little rivalry.
I bet they did that on purpose then. That makes sense. Now that I think about it.
And then going on to AJ Styles versus Bobby Lashley. Good match. Bobby Lashley got a legitimate cut in the Austin Theory Sheamus match because and I was even watching it. I was watching it, paying attention, and I seen that, and I was like, oh my goodness, that might actually be bad. He went head first into that steel stairs, like into the ring post. He went head first. Theory threw him in there. Yeah, it looked pretty bad, and he had a huge cut, and he was bleeding like crazy, and in this match, that cut reopened again, and he had a huge bump on his head.
From the same spot.
Yeah, and
it was from the same spot, too. That was funny. I didn't even think about that until now.
He might have a concussion, but he was able to follow maybe a light concussion or something, because he was stumbling a little bit. But still, Lashley finished that match, the triple threat, and then he went on later on to lose to AJ Styles, but in a good match. It was a very good match.
Yeah.
AJ won by phenomenal forearm, and we will have AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins at Night of Champions.
Which is almost guaranteed to be a 5-star match.
So from this week of wrestling, we have realized Night of Champions will be Brock versus Cody, Seth versus AJ for the World Championship, and Roman and Solo versus the current tag team champions of Sami and Kevin.
And the rest is still yet to be announced, which I imagine it's going to be a big card because it's Saudi Arabia. What do you expect?
So
it's going to be huge.
Look forward to predictions for Night of Champions because we will have those predictions out soon. Because it's only in like 2 weeks.
I was about to say Night of Champions is in 2 weeks.
So, I mean, I'm very excited for wrestling. This was very awesome. But us being excited is now going to turn into us being a little disappointed, a little bit upset.
A little worried.
Because Drew McIntyre is having a lot of problems right now with WWE, as in, he's not being paid the amount that he wants to be paid. I mean, he is one of the top stars. They need to give him his due cut since he was the dude carrying Monday Night Raw throughout the pandemic. I mean, crazy rivalry between him and Lashley, him and Randy Orton, and especially, I mean, his win against Brock Lesnar should have been so much bigger, and he won the Royal Rumble. Right. He was being pushed as the top star. He had that good match against Roman.
And then he just kind of fell off from there.
He kind of fell off.
I mean, it's not.
I mean, he's had some good rivalries and stuff, good segments, but it hasn't been the same since he really lost the World Championship. I mean.
Yeah, I think since they've been having these disputes, he hasn't been completely himself. Which they've also said part of it is that he's been dealing with a lot of illness lately.
Yeah,
he's part of the issue.
He was working through a small injury during the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania.
It was a small injury as well as being sick. He was also sick.
Yeah, so he has given a lot to that company. I really hope that he will stay, but he might be going to AEW. And I will tell you right now, I don't care how much it costs. If he goes to AEW, I'm going to watch AEW.
I'm telling you right now,
he's that big of a star to me.
If it happens, it's not happening this year. They've already confirmed that.
Who?
His contract, Meltzer, has already confirmed it.
Up in it, we trying to get higher. Put it back at cooking a rack, me eating
that pack a moon and snapper holding it down. Pull up in the primary real, they're just not faking the cap. Young killing the trapper, coming back, I'll break new loose, keep up in the track. I'm feeling the beachy, burning, healing, marketing, typing, making me scream. Don't clap in the sea, air track and pee. I'm master love, but fiend deep. I'm switching my game, take passion, see even with my shot, no line to see.